Love. It's a word that holds weight, feels good. Love is an instinctive emotion most of us feel, yet is not fully understood, being a complicated emotion. In spite of the ubiquity and universality of love, we are rarely taught the how or what love really means. We simply navigate our relationships and hope we'll figure it out along the way. Love may drive us wild, causing dysfunctional patterns in our relationships. Even the truest kind of love can turn toxic if we're not careful. With that in mind, here are 6 key differences that can help us distinguish between healthy and unhealthy love. 1. Intensity versus stability. Remember back to that new relationship feeling when everything is just incredible? In the beginning, you get a rush of emotions and that high intensity of affection that gives you a sort of euphoria when you're together. In a healthy relationship, these emotions mature and stabilize. They grow into a fondness and relaxed, deep affection instead of staying at a feverish, unstable high. Contrast this with an unhealthy relationship, where the deepening maturity and calmness doesn't happen. The intensity persists. You spend virtually all your time together, constantly checking in when apart, and there are upsets when the other person doesn't reciprocate the smothering attention. That good intensity has now turned negative and feels uneasy instead of euphoric. Isolation versus independence. Isn't it thoughtful and romantic when your partner asks you out and makes plans with you? This depends on how often and when it happens. Healthy love involves a sense of independence. You stay connected to the important people in your life and continue to be able to participate in your own pursuits. Unhealthy love involves a sense of isolation, cutting you off from everything in your life that is not your partner. They become your one and only priority, thus your only source of happiness. They will question or guilt you if it seems you're deriving happiness or enjoyment from anything other than them. This is not love. It's controlling possession. 3. Concern versus jealousy. We may not want to admit it, but jealousy is a normal part of any relationship. It's okay to feel occasionally insecure and want assurance from your partner, just as long as jealousy does not get out of hand. Healthy love is all about open communication and listening to each other. It means setting mutually comfortable boundaries and having mutual trust. Unhealthy love is all about wild and irrational jealousy, the unreasonable kind that can never be reassured. Your partner may become possessive of you and start invading your privacy. They may read your messages and restrict who you can and can't interact with. They need to know who you're with and where you are at all times. There may also be frequent accusations of infidelity, like cheating or flirting, even when you're not. 4. Teasing versus belittling. Once you become more comfortable with one another, you might start playfully teasing or lightly ribbing on each other, even in front of others. That's a sign of healthy love, that you feel secure enough and know each other well enough to laugh slightly at yourselves. You both know when to stop and no feelings are hurt. Unhealthy love, on the other hand, crosses over the lines, and the teasing isn't light. It's belittling, insulting, and humiliating. Maybe your partner decides to share embarrassing, knowingly private information to get laughs and adulation from other people. They may purposely make fun of you for something they know is hurtful. Even worse is that they likely won't even apologize for it, twisting it so it seems like you're the one with a problem by being too sensitive and overreacting. 5. Generosity versus manipulation. Healthy love does not require payback or an exchange. You give freely of your time, energy, money, and whatever else may be needed from you, because you care about them and want happiness for them. There is no attempt to purchase desired behavior. Healthy love is selfless, while unhealthy love is selfish. Unhealthy love gives, not out of generosity, but with expectations of something in return. It's a transaction. It can look like them offering you a ride to work in the morning, and in exchange, you'll be expected to stop your painting hobby that makes you leave every Thursday night for classes. The reasoning used to hide it because if you really love them, you'd do it. This is manipulation, not love. And 6. Honesty versus volatility. The final, but highly important aspect is that healthy love is honest, but not manipulative. The openness about your feelings, wants, and thoughts are shared for the pure reason of better mutual understanding. This being so you can be a stronger support to each other and grow closer. There is no hidden motive, just open, healthy communication. In unhealthy love, the honesty shared is volatile. It involves tearful fights, screaming terrible low-blow things at each other, then panically begging the other partner to come back, because you can't function without them. Your relationship feels constantly unsafe and insecure, with emotions soaring or plummeting with no consistency. When you love someone, it can be difficult to accept the realities surrounding them and your relationship with them once the shiny new relationship smell wears off. We all struggle at being good at times, so it feels hypocritical to fault others for that same struggle. We wrongly believe that if there is love, imperfections are all negligible, to be dismissed or ignored. This is a dangerous idea to entertain, as it makes us more vulnerable to abuse and mistreatment. Everyone deserves to be treated with decency, courtesy, kindness, and care. Knowing the difference between what's healthy and unhealthy in love can help you better understand your relationships and assess whether they're good for you. Healthy love is open communication, mutual respect, trust, and compatible values. If your relationship lacks all of these, then it may be time to consider if it's a love that's not meant to last.
Despite our best efforts, love always seems to be completely out of our control. It lifts us up like a feather in the wind, whisking us away to a completely new world, full of new experiences and unforgettable memories. But while it might raise us to new heights, love has the power to slam us back down to earth just as quickly. Make no mistake, we are at the mercy of love. All we can do is search for that special someone to hopefully spend the rest of our lives with. But which signs should we be looking for when we think we found the one? Here are 7 signs your love will last a lifetime. 1. You share comfortable silences. Love is all about mutual understanding. And when you truly know the person you're with, you don't feel the need to fill the air with small talk. Communication is definitely important when it comes to relationships, don't get us wrong. But when you can share a comfortable silence with the one you love, and are simply content with each other's presence, it could be a sign that your connection will last a lifetime. 2. You think about each other when you're apart. True love doesn't give you much of a break. From the moment you wake up to your last yawn as you fall asleep, your partner dominates your thoughts. You don't just think about your loved one, you wonder where they are, who they're with, and whether or not they're okay. But this should not be confused with codependency. Thinking about each other doesn't necessarily mean you're reliant on each other. It just means you care a great deal about your partner. If you find your thoughts wandering into the realms of your relationship throughout the day, it could be a sign that it's destined to last forever. 3. You communicate with each other. Ask many old couples why their relationship lasted so long, and many will point out one important factor: communication. It's a simple part of a successful relationship, but it binds couples together for many decades if done right. Communication is more than just asking your partner how their day was or deciding what to eat for dinner. Deep, meaningful communication involves challenging your partner, stripping away the barriers, and being vulnerable to really allow your genuine personalities to connect. 4. Your arguments make you stronger. There's nothing wrong with arguing in a relationship. In fact, most marriage counselors would agree that it's healthy, and that couples who don't argue at all are probably doing something very wrong. Arguments allow you to get things off your chest. Bottling everything up inside is a recipe for disaster. Arguments shouldn't drive partners apart. In fact, the most passionate couples discover that their arguments actually make them stronger. They make changes, compromise with one another, and learn more about themselves and each other in the process. If this sounds like your relationship, it could last a lifetime. If you're interested in some strategies, we recommend watching Winter Susan's video on Stop Arguing, Start Brainstorming for Solutions together. She talks about putting the problems on the table. 5. You help build each other up. The concept of a power couple is much more than just two highly successful people in a relationship. There's nothing better than being with someone who helps build you up into something much more than you could have achieved on your own. Helping your partner become a better person is the ultimate act of love and affection. You don't just want to take care of them and be comfortable with them. You want to push them higher and help them improve their own life. However, it's worth stating that not everyone is willing to accept help from others. Acknowledging that we need help is often just as hard as giving help to others. But in a strong, lasting relationship, this just isn't an issue. Both partners are humble enough to accept each other's help and loving enough to build each other up into amazing people. 6. You don't feel the need to cheat. We know, this one seems pretty obvious. But consider this. How many couples can honestly say that they've never even entertained the thought of cheating? Most of us have at least considered it at one point, even if it was just a fleeting moment of weakness. In many ways, it's a natural thought process and nothing to be ashamed of. Even the strongest couples let their thoughts wander. But if you're in a relationship that's destined to last forever, you never really take those thoughts seriously. It crosses your mind for an instant and then fades away as quickly as it came. 7. You set realistic expectations. In the world of social media and reality TV, it's easy to set unrealistic expectations for relationships. Everyone has their own idea of a dream romance. It might include a happy ending with a mansion, a fancy car, and endless vacations to luxurious beaches. But if your relationship is going to last forever, you're probably not setting these kinds of unrealistic expectations. In the end, you have each other, and that's enough. It's easy to get swept away with what you think a relationship is supposed to be, but the truth is that it's different for everyone. If it's really meant to last forever, you're fine with how your relationship progresses naturally. What do you think makes for a happily ever after? Leave us a comment below and tell us what makes for a lasting relationship.